Well, good morning, friends and neighbors. It's Friday the 13th. Ooh. It's a quote, Michael Scott. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. The Friday the 13th are usually a good day. I usually have a great day on Friday the 13th. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't think I can't think of any time I've had a bad luck on a Friday the 13th. So I'm superstitiously optimistic about a Friday the 13th. Let's put it that way. It's about 6:10 in the morning. Got a little bit of a late start. I was talking to my son. Instead of getting ready, just for a few minutes there before I got suited up and got the bike out, and he brings his dog over to the house on his way to work so that so that his dog isn't alone in his apartment all day. And yeah, but it's gonna be a good day. God, I had a kind of a heck of a week this week at work. Not bad, just really busy. A lot of hours, but getting a lot done, and then the week on a good note with project progress and helping things out that I'm not always fully involved in, but I get involved in when I need to help with a fix or something. So, but there's a lot of that little stuff, and then the big stuff that I do. And anyway, yeah, I had some good progress this week on some things. Several really good days in a row, but long days. And the nature of IT is such that there's a lot of things that you have to do depending on what platform things are on. You need to do it when it has little or minimal business impact. So you can't always do things during the workday. You got to do them after business hours, which isn't true for all businesses, and some businesses are 24/7. But and some, it's 24/7, but less impactful during certain hours, and you have to schedule certain windows of time when it's just expected that things are going to be undergoing maintenance, and that's how my work is. So it's kind of windy this morning, so we're going to take a little slow through here, slower than normal, still speed limit, but a lot of visibility. I am running the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera. That's a lot to say. So from now on, since I've already introduced that I'm using that, I'm just going to say the camera. I'm using super night mode, just trying it out. It's supposed to be pre-programmed settings for night mode. However, the caveat is that it's not good for fast moving things. It could be argued that I am not a fast moving thing while I'm on the bike, and that's a good argument to make, but I don't know how it's going to work. The scenery kind of blurs fast on the side, so we'll see. Let's see how it goes. I did try a manual setting the other day for when I rode home, and it was kind of twilighty, not quite dusk, I guess you would say, so not quite dark, and sundown, it was light out when I left and then dark when I got home, so we got a mix of that. The footage in the dark, and now that setting was more for just an average day. And in the dark, it was dark, and I bet I would have had better luck that day if I left it on auto. But I'll put that video up. I'm just reviewing the footage. It's from 2 days ago. It'll be up before this one, so I don't know why I'm even saying this stuff, but just giving a kind of a review to myself of what I'm doing here. So anyway, I've got DJI mic mini, one of the two that I have in the helmet. I still have yet to decide on where I'm putting it permanently, so it's kind of like right up against my chin, and I need to remember that I even though I've turned the gain down on the mic, it's right by my mouth, so I don't need to talk that loud, and I can actually hear myself, whereas before I had that windscreen on and I could barely even hear myself, so I always ended up talking loud, so I felt like I had to talk over the wind. So now I just need to take a breath, lower the voice. I don't need to be so loud. It's not that it's it did help a lot when I turned that gain down. I noticed the first few recordings, although it wasn't always poppy, it got a little poppy at times when the windscreen was throwing wind in my face. So the other day I didn't remember to talk softly, and my voice was super loud. I don't think I forget what that term is, where you kind of go over the audio, the limit of the audio, and it just kind of pops because it doesn't have anything else it can do to process the sound. So you get these little like staticky pops, and I don't think I got any of that, but it was close. I think it was pretty close. It was definitely up in the red of the audio level. So yeah, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and hopefully if you're someone who wants to, you are with somebody who you love tomorrow. I will be. We don't really buy into the whole Valentine's Day thing too much anymore. It is kind of it's just a marketing thing to make you spend money. They got all these days figured out throughout the year so that the capitalist system can give you an excuse to spend your money, and not that it's a bad thing, but to spend money on a loved one. But you don't need a day. You don't need them to tell you when to do it, is what I'm saying. I know it's kind of based on something, I don't want to say ancient, but it's based on something old, but it's devolved into another money grab. I like, as soon as January 1st is over, you start seeing Valentine's Day. It never used to be that way. You'd start seeing Valentine's Day stuff like in February, like February 1st. Now it's like January 2nd. All the New Year stuff comes down. Actually, January 1st. All the New Year stuff comes down, and all the February stuff comes up by the 2nd. It's disgusting, man. I don't know if it's like that in other countries, but it's definitely like that in the U.S. It's like after Halloween, Christmas stuff is out. What happened to Thanksgiving, guys? I used to wait till Thanksgiving at least. God damn. Anyway, sorry, that's old guy rant. Old guy rant. Doo doo doo. So we are. Ooh, a little bit of gravel there. I don't know if the camera picks that up. Sometimes you'll see me kind of swerve or approach the yellow line a little bit, and it's not always on purpose, but when nobody's coming, I'm a little if it's a nice straight road or there's evidently nobody on the road, I tend to favor closer to the center. Maybe not like, you know what I mean, but sometimes it's on purpose because there's some crap in the road, and it doesn't always show up on the camera. I'm like, man, I was swerving all over. What the hell was that wrong with me? This light is not going to be my friend today, I'm afraid. It rarely is. Let's do that so people aren't getting blinded by my bright. Anybody coming behind me? No, I think we got a dead red here, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to rule anybody out there. We've all got dead red today. There it goes. Get a little motion there to see me. Okay, here we go. They got the beet juice sprayed down from the other day. See those? I don't, maybe it doesn't show up in the dark, but there's like those lines. That's the nasty shit they spray on the road to reduce the it lowers the freezing point a little bit of surface water. Not a lot like salt, but enough, because it doesn't get that cold here usually. And they put that down when it's going to be near freezing, just to try to dissuade the frost from building up a little. But I've been told it's not salt, but it can still be a little bit caustic. So that's why I don't ride the Bonneville during these months. The DR is a little more, well, you know, they get dirty, banged up from rocks and dirt and stuff, so she can handle it. I don't want to do that to the Bonneville. And they get, you know, I wash her down, like spray her off and stuff anyway, so it's not like lingering on there forever, but they put that down the other morning. I didn't ride yesterday because it was in the 30s, and that's when they usually put that down. I don't like riding in the 30s. I've said it why before. I'm not going to go into that, but where we are mileage-wise. I'm going to get gas on the way, so I will have a stopping point, but not quite yet. Well, maybe I'll do it up here. I don't have a whole lot to say this morning, I guess. I thought I would, but I really am doing this just to try out the light setting on the camera, and we'll see how she goes. And I think I will, well, we'll see. We'll see what time I get out of work. I do have some things to do that I want to try to do on the way home, which, you know, will facilitate a stop and then an opportunity to put the camera on. So we'll give that a shot, and yeah, I think I'll cut it out here. I've got a gas station coming up. I'll get this earlier one rather than the later one. And yeah, you guys have a great Friday the 13th, and hopefully a great Valentine's Day. You probably won't see this until after Valentine's Day, but just know that I was wishing you all a good one. So Paco Pete, will you be my Valentine? Alright, I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Trees is out.